I hate the fact this is a part 3. I'm sorry, guys. I normally don't want to make it more than like 2 videos. It's bad enough that my episode 5 ended up being 3 videos for one episode. Like, episodes 1 through 4 were all one video videos, and episode 5 was like 3 from what I remember. Now episode 6, this is my 3rd video for it, and I might actually add a 4th one. But anyway, going back to the episode, the dinner between James and Lucy and General Lane. I didn't mention this in the beginning, but apparently James reluctantly agrees to go, and the whole dinner goes topsy-turvy because General Lane pretty much takes out his frustration on James and pretty much tells Lucy, you know, you shouldn't be with James. He's friends with Superman, probably friends with that Supergirl, and that Supergirl drove me so many problems. Friggin' like diva status on General Lane right now. I don't know about you guys, but total diva status. But anyway, Red Tornado pretty much arrives and pretty much attacks the Lanes. And James, so like, in the middle of all that, James uses the signal watch that Superman gave to him to alert him. He pretty much uses that same signal watch to alert Kara, which I was so happy to see because everybody knows the watch that Jimmy had. Everyone knows that Superman gave Jimmy a special watch in the comics to pretty much signal Jimmy when there's danger. And I'm glad that they put that back on this show. Obviously they had to, because if they're going to bring Jimmy Olsen, James Olsen, aka Jimmy, into Supergirl, you gotta give him everything he had in the original comics, which is, of course, the watch and the fact that he's best friends with Superman. He knows Superman's identity and all that good stuff. But anyway, like, Kara's alerted by the watch, and she immediately shows up and stops it, only to have the android create a tornado, which pretty much puts everyone in harm's way. So she has to, like, get everyone away from the tornado. And it's the first time you actually see in this episode. Well, I won't say the first time, but it's really interesting to see him create that tornado. Really lives up to the name, despite his appearance, and I like that part of it. I still don't like his appearance, anyways. But of course, naturally, General Lane, like, he blames Kara and the DEO for allowing Red Tornado to get away. But Hank's like, you know that he tells the General it was designed to destroy Kryptonians instead of terrorists, and he notices that. He's like, you didn't ask Tiamara to create Red Tornado to apprehend terrorists. You created it to take down Kryptonians like Supergirl and later on Superman. And at Lord Technologies, you know, Alex and Maxwell, they pretty much get to know each other and, like, bond because they both know what it's like to lose parent. Like, for instance, Alex, you know, she lost her father, and apparently Maxwell Lord, I believe, lost both of his parents. I'm not sure. And, you know, they bond over that. And, with that little bonding, Maxwell pretty much states that, you know, judging by the samples he got from Red Tornado, they find out that Red Tornado is a little more than a typical drone. Rephrasing that, he pretty much says Red Tornado is a little more than a drone, meaning like therefore, like, it means pretty much his behavior can only mean that the android is being controlled remotely by somebody. And they all deduce that obviously Red Tornado is being controlled by none other than its creator and fired creator, Tiamara. You know, so pretty much they set out to track down Tiamara, because obviously he's the one he did create it, he's the one controlling it. Meanwhile, you know, like, Kara and James being frustrated with their own problems. Kara has her own problems, James has his problems with General Lane. They set up some punching bags, so I think it's a very nice bonding scene, because they're like, Jimmy is punching a normal punching bag and Kara's punching a car dangling from the ceiling. And like, Kara takes out her anger about being an alien and not fitting in, and pretty much that's mainly the reason why Kara is so angry all the time, is because she hates that people are calling her, you know, you're an alien, you don't belong here on Earth, and all that stuff, even though she was technically brought to Earth. Yes, she's a Kryptonian, but she was raised on Earth majority of her life. And so I guess she's just pissed off at that. And it's a nice bonding moment between Jimmy and Kara. And you actually see Jimmy like give some sympathy toward her. You know, he knows what it's like only because of Superman. Because when Superman of course told Jimmy what it was like for him. At the time, he was the only Kryptonian on Earth. He was by himself. He was the only Kryptonian on Earth. He was all alone. He felt so isolated. He did not fit in. So Jimmy knows pretty damn well through Superman how that must feel. And for Kara, he obviously cares about Kara, to see her go through that, you know, taking out her anger and like frustration. And she's like close to tears too, I think. And so, you know, he sympathizes with that. It's a nice bonding scene. I really like that bonding scene between the two because, you know, like I said, Jimmy knows damn well what Kara's talking about while she's punching the punching bag. But anyway, like Alex then calls Kara to inform her they found a way to draw out Red Tornado's attention by using a hologram of General Lane using the Kryptonian crystals, which I think is an interesting way to make holograms. You know, you guys know from the comics, I don't know if you guys do, but like Kryptonian crystals did make holograms of, for Superman it made holograms of his dad, and for Supergirl it's making holograms of her mother. So I like how they brought that back, the crystals and all that. And that was one way to draw Red Tornado, and when they draw him out they have to find Tiamaro and remove whatever he's using to control it. But anyway, the android shows up to attack Kara, and while that's happening, Alex tracks down Tiamaro and fights him. Nearly loses, you know what I mean? But like, Red Tornado proves to be a very unstoppable opponent, and it pretty much pushes Kara to her limits until her anger is pretty much unleashed. You know, it's kind of like, it's like Bruce Banner from Marvel. You get him angry to an extent, it unleashes the Hulk. And this pretty much happens with Kara. Her anger gets unleashed, and pretty much Red Tornado, who pretty much pushed Kara to her limit, her anger comes out, and she pretty much burns the crap out of that android with her laser eyes, with her anger and everything. And it's just, yeah, anger never really helps with people. In some situations it helps, but it could draw a lot of energy from you. And that's pretty much what happens to Kara, because after she pretty much blew up Red Tornado, she was just exhausted. I do not blame her. You put all that anger out and like a freaking bomb. But anyway, following day, you know, Lucy informs James, like, you know, I reassigned my commission to be by my dad. She said she didn't want to follow her father, saying that, you know, we're on the same team, and in hopes that they, you know, they could reconcile. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, you know, Wynn pretty much reveals to Alex and Kara that he found information about the dad, Jeremiah, and Hank. Apparently, those two went to South America to apprehend an alien until they both went missing and were both presumed dead. And then later on, they're only discovered that Hank survived. And not only did he survive, he's been deleting and redacting information about... Sorry, my nose. Pretty much, he's been deleting and redacting any information about Jeremiah. So, Wynn pretty much gives cautions to Alex, you know, be careful around him because you're working for Hank, right? I mean, they both went missing, they're both presumed dead, and all of a sudden Hank's the one that turns up alive, and he's deleting your father's files and redacting them all. And he's like, you know what, Alex, you're the one working with him, you should pray caution right now. And Alex becomes even more suspicious of Hank than ever, and I do not blame her. I mean, her father goes to apprehend an alien with this guy, they both go missing, they're both presumed dead, and all of a sudden this Hank comes out of nowhere and not my father, and he starts deleting and redacting files on my father. I would be suspicious too. I mean, a lot of you would probably agree with me on that. But anyway, later on in that office, Kat, she's like nursing a hangover, which I feel so bad for her, because we all know that Kara being Kryptonian, she probably could burn all that shit down. But and yet Kat can't, because she's a normal human. But anyway, her mother, Catherine, pretty much starts yelling at Kara like, "Where's my car? I have to leave." And I like this. It's another Mama Hen version of Kat for being Mama Hen to Kara, because when Catherine's all yelling at Kara, saying, you didn't get my car and all that stuff, Kat actually protects Kara and snaps back at her mother, saying she's not allowed to talk to Kara that way. I really, really love this moment because, you know, you always assume that Kat's like this controlling tycoon woman that she's all powerful, she owns her own company, and Kara was just her assistant. But it shows that she cares even a little bit of Kara because, you know, also the fact that she probably also did it because, you know, it's her mother and, you know, she has drama with her mother and she wanted to like, rah, with her mom. But the fact that she protected Kara and said, you're not allowed to treat Kara that way, that was pretty cool. But then I believe she actually rebutted with saying, you're not allowed to treat Kara that way, only I am, or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, her mother, Catherine, pretty much leaves, and both Kara and Kat feel so much better about their anger because they were able to, you know, vent it out in their own ways. But, like, the ending got me kind of thinking of things. The ending, Kat and, Kara, you know, she's getting another glass, and all of a sudden Kat drops the glass, and Kara's like, oh, I'll help clean it up and stuff. It's like, no. Kat's like, no, I'll clean it up. You're gonna hurt yourself. And then all of a sudden, Kara ends up hurting herself. When she picks up the glass, she ends up cutting her finger, which surprises her because her skin got cut by glass. She's bleeding. And then she's like, holy crap, I'm human. And that to me was a very interesting thing. I'm not gonna lie to you because, I mean, if you're an alien and you're pretty much indestructible to bullets and all of a sudden you get cut in your finger and you're bleeding, of course you're going to freak out, and I don't really blame her on this. Because it's like, what happened? What the hell caused this? Why am I all of a sudden getting hurt? Why am I bleeding? I'm supposed to be impervious to bullets, and all of a sudden I got cut by a small piece of glass and I'm bleeding. So, it was really interesting to see at the end, Kara actually having some sort of human thing going on, to see that little bonding moment between Kat and Kara, and then also Kara and Jimmy, seeing, you know, Alex bond a little with Wynn on helping find the dad. That was pretty cool. You guys pretty much know my opinion about Red Tornado. I was happy to see him. You know, I was happy that he was in the episode. He's mentioned. He's in that episode. You see his powers, but I'm kind of about his appearance. If they made his appearance more robotic and more metal looking, then I'd probably be okay with it. That's my honest opinion. But anyway, Redface was pretty cool. I'm just happy to see just to see more DC characters that were associated with either the Justice League or the Justice Society of America. And in this case, Red Tornado in the comics is associated with both Justice League and Justice Society of America. And to see Tiomaro, of course, if you get Red Tornado, you obviously are going to get his creator, because we all know that this Supergirl show is kind of like her origin story in a way. And if you're going to bring Supergirl origin story, you're going to bring in Red Tornado, obviously it's going to be a somewhat origin story for Red Tornado. And so if you're going to get an origin story of Red Tornado, you're going to have his creator, which is obviously Tiomaro, which is pretty cool that they brought him in. And I don't know if this is going to be the end of Red Tornado. I know that Kara blew him up, and I know that Alex shot Tiomaro. But I don't know. Tiomaro was working for General Lane and the whole government kind of army thing going on. So for all we know, General Lane's people might have schematics, all of Tiomaro's schematics on Red Tornado, and maybe they might make another one. I don't know, because we all know that Red Tornado and Tiomaro are both gone. So I'm kind of interested. Maybe they might bring Red Tornado, and the people with General Lane might have the schematics and make a new one. You never know. Put your comments on there. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I love you guys. Bye, BooTube.